I'm really hoping that what we have here is not another Rocket Arena, right, chat? If you were familiar with Rocket Arena, if you've ever played Rocket Arena, it is another game that was published by EA and developed by an indie studio. Another game with lots of promise, lots of potential, that was pretty fun to play, but never got off of the ground because they shot themselves in the foot. Well, maybe I don't want to say that they shot themselves in the foot. No, they didn't shoot themselves in the foot. EA shot them in the foot. Right out the gate, they charged, I believe it was $40 for what should have been a free-to-play hero shooter experience. I'm hoping that this game gets ahead of that, right? And the way that they've tried to get ahead of that, Velan Studios and EA, I'm sure they had to get EA permission for this, is not for the game to go free to play. Unfortunately, the game is not free to play. Right. I still insist that the game should be free to play, and that's where it would see its most success. But what they've done is implemented this 10-day trial event called the Block Party. From today, launch day, and for 10 days, you can play this game absolutely free of charge, right? You can play the game absolutely free of charge and enjoy yourself absolutely free of charge, right? And with that being said, you can give it a try and see if you like it before deciding to write it off because you have to drop some money on what looks like and what should be a free-to-play game. Now, if you ever played free-to-play games, you know how those economy works, right? Microtransactions and everything like that. From what I'm understanding, from what I'm seeing, this game does not have microtransactions, at least not yet. I have not seen any microtransactions in this game yet. Everything that I've seen, I've gotten and I've been able to earn in this game, right? By playing the game. And that is a huge upside. Now, that is not to say that these developers and the publisher at EA won't go and add microtransactions in the future, but for right now, when you buy this game, you get a full experience. Or really, when you download this game, you get a full multiplayer experience, a fun multiplayer experience, an experience that I think is very easy to pick up and play. I can already tell is difficult to master, and I believe will get very, very sweaty. This is gonna have an audience, but I'm curious to see how niche this audience is going to be. One of my favorite games that came out recently was a game called Spellbreak, right? If you guys were not familiar with Spellbreak, it has been played on my channel and featured on my channel a couple of different times, more than a couple of different times. We played a good amount of Spellbreak. And this game reminds me of Spellbreak in the sense that it is a small, almost unproven studio putting out a very interesting multiplayer game, where this game and Spellbreak differ, and where I see more chances for success on this game is the fact that this game has an identity. If there's one thing that Spellbreak has always struggled with, it is finding its identity, and because it has struggled to find its identity, it has struggled to find an audience. This game has an easily identifiable identity that hopefully will resonate with the people in the same way that it's resonated with me. So hopefully we see more people getting into this, more tournaments, more orgs formed, more backing from big names like Golden Boy, who held the first tournament in the beta with his own money, put up $1,000 of his own money. I want to see more of it. I want to see more of it, right? I'm sick of liking games that end up failing. I'm gonna say it again. I'm sick of liking games that fail, that fail. One thing that I've always learned from watching pro wrestling, right, and listening to them talk when they talk about discovering who they are and what they're going to be, is that things need to be simple. When you look at it, when you're in the front row or whether you're in the back stands, you need to be able to tell when you look at something what that something is. if you can tell what that something is,
okay,
it is far easier for you to relate, for you to invest, for you to spend money, right? And looking at this game, it gets no simpler. Dope ass dodgeball game. Dope ass dodgeball game, guys. I don't know about you, but I don't need to know much more, right? I didn't need to know much more to try it out. When I look at it, I'm not confused as to what's happening. They're throwing balls at each other, clearly trying to hit each other. There are 2 hearts on the bottom of the screen. You can get hit twice. That's it. There's no aim involved. Everything is auto aim. There is reaction time in your catching. There's a lot of simplicity and identifiable identities in this game, if you will, that I really fucks with it for that reason. I really do. And hopefully others do. During the beta, Knockout City managed to break the top 10 on Twitch, right? Right now, Knockout City has 90,000 viewers, right? And of course, these are partner sponsored streams, right? For right now, but there's interest there, right? People are playing it. Now it's up to them to not fumble this bag. Honestly, nah. I'm just, you know, Spellbreak and the state of Spellbreak and what had become of it, and how that whole situation went for me. I just felt like, and Road Company as well. I just felt like those games could have been more, right? If they weren't trying to be other things. Knockout City is not trying to be anything but Knockout City. Well, it's trying to be dodgeball, right? But like, what other dodgeball video games do we really have?